Sports, Rachel
And what's up? You are listening to her in Huddle, WOVU 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports. And, we try to give you some of the hottest sports talk in the world, on the radio, on the internet. And thank you so much for joining us. We got a lot to get into, but I just want to put out there first and foremost, I'm not scared of DJ Chris Styles. I know the show before me, he was giving him a funny look, but, he melt like butter when I get to talking to him. So I ain't scared of DJ Chris Styles, but that's my boy. He take care of us and he keep me in line. So I appreciate him because I'm hard to handle sometimes. So thank you so much, DJ Chris Styles. Without you, there'd be no us. So we do appreciate him. But yeah, so with me, I got my co-host, Willie Epting of ShakeBack Sports Network. What's up, Willie, man?
Yo, Cleveland, what is going on? Rachel Hill, First Lady of Sports.
Nothing. I just had to give my producer a little bit of love. I love him.
Yeah, you got to do that.
Yeah, he good people.
Mm-hmm.
He pushes me and encourages me. And then, sometimes it can be tough being a woman, being a Black woman in sports. So, it's always good to have as many people in your corner as you possibly can have. So, I definitely appreciate him. And I appreciate you too and all the help that you give me as well. I thank y'all a lot.
Amen to that. And I'll say to this, or I'll say this to that it is nothing wrong with being pushed as long as they don't push you down. And there's nothing wrong with being encouraged if they're not encouraging you to quit.
Yeah, the other day I had some fourth graders interview me for a school project. And let me tell you, these kids be having some questions. They have some good questions. They are so curious. And I'm like, I don't know if at my age I would have been able to come up with some of the questions that they were able to come up with. But these were some really great kids. And, one of the ones they asked me was, who has helped me or who should I thank? And I'm just like, let me pull out this scroll right quick because this is a long list, so yeah. I'm not able to get where I'm at without people behind me. But what's up with you, man? How'd your weekend go?
Let's see. I don't remember. I know I went to church on Sunday, and I had a bit of an accident on Saturday. Can I tell you
what happened? In the car?
No, me and my wife were at Lowe's. Shout out to Patrice, man. She's she got the first COVID shot and now she's not feeling that great. But y'all keep
I hope she feels better.
Yeah, keep her in your prayers because she's got a little bit of a fever right now. So I'm about to play pharmacist and doctor and nurse and all that other stuff. But anyway, we were at Lowe's on Saturday, right? Looking for some paint. So we were on the paint aisle and I'm reaching up to try to grab the paint. And it was two big cans on top of each other and they were stuck. So I moved one can to get the other can. And as I was moving the other can, it fell directly on my foot.
Oh my gosh. And
when I tell you I collapsed in a heap on the floor face down, that is exactly what I did. It hurt and it still hurt. And I went to the doctor. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I went to the doctor yesterday. So it has been diagnosed as a foot bruise or a bruised foot.
Okay.
Luckily, I'm not on crutches. Luckily, it's not giving me a whole lot of pain, but it is a little sore because it's right on the top of my foot. So like when I put my shoes on is when it gives me a little issue right then.
Did you alert Lowe's?
Oh, but of course.
Okay, I was about to say, because, I work in insurance. So, I was about to say we'll have a talk offline about everything you need to do regarding that. But, okay, as long as they know and, they got access to that videotape, that's what we're talking about right there. So, okay, good. Well, I'm sorry to hear that happened, and I hope you're feeling better. I'm just sorry. That definitely sucks. And I'm not as tall as you, but, I have a habit of, just trying to jump on shelves and climb on shelves. I just did it at Walmart the other day without even knowing what's up there. And I take that risk and I'm like, I need to stop doing that. It does say, call for help, but, I'm just like, I'm gonna get what I want, but I'm too short. So I need to be more cognizant of that, So I'm really sorry that it happened to you. And, Lowe's will do what they need to do. And we'll talk about that offline on general liability claims. So I consider myself a subject matter expert in that area. So I got you.
Okay. Bet.
Yeah, of course, man. You know what it is. So, man, there's a lot going on with the Cleveland Indians. So I know you keep up with them because of me and Miss Nat. And me and Miss Nat was texting today too, having a good old time via text. But so much has went on. They gave an update about Josh Naylor, and he's going to see a specialist. Did you get a chance to see how that injury actually occurred?
Yes.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to say I prematurely blamed Ernie Clemente, and I apologize to him because from what I heard, Josh Naylor didn't call them all. So I'm like, you got one person running to the ball and the other person backing to the ball. I'm assuming that the person that's running to the ball is seeing the person backing, calling them off. So from what we're hearing, early reports, Josh Naylor did not call him off.
Yeah, and usually if there's the shortstop or the first baseman or any of the infielders for that matter, and they're going out to retrieve a fly ball, the territory, if the outfielder can get there, it's supposed to be his play. Mm-hmm. So if that is part of the problem and Josh not calling him off, then yeah, that's very unfortunate. But to me, that it was his landing. And I guess we're going to get to that here in a minute, but it was his landing that really just, oh my God, it reminded me of Dak Prescott.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the helicopter spin. And, it just was that awkward, unfortunate landing of, how it, one time I had my kneecap, it was a sublux kneecap, but it didn't bend backwards, or whatever on my fall. I saw my kneecap move when I fell, but it didn't bend backwards. So the angle at which he fell at was just so awkward. Just the angle that his foot landed when he fell was just so awkward. You knew nothing good was going to come out of that. And just him writhing in pain and beating, the grass and stuff like that. And they said the whole time, Nat gave us an update yesterday that he's just apologizing to everybody, apologizing to his team, even though he's in this writhing pain. Because I was listening to it on the radio. I wasn't able to watch. I was listening to it on the radio, and I was kind of wondering what's going on because, you got this long, pregnant pause of the game, but the announcers are keeping you up. And, when you see somebody on a cart, especially like in football, and they carted off, usually they season done. Mm-hmm. So for him to be carted off and having to go to the hospital, I already knew, because they were talking about he's going to go on, the 10-day IL. I'm like, yeah, he's not coming back after something like that. He had to get carted off and taken to the hospital. Those instances like that, he's not coming back. So, at this point, it's just, what's next for this team? Aaron Savali goes out. And I didn't get a chance to ask Tito today because, sometimes you got to tiptoe around certain questions, certain things. And when Aaron Savali came out last week, Tito was saying, we're not a woe is me, type team. And we man up, that type of stuff. But, the last starter in your rotation goes down. You lose somebody who was key to your playoff win, even though they didn't advance. Josh Naylor went like 5 for 7 against the Yankees. It wasn't much of a series, but he was actually, I think, the lead stat getter against the Yankees. So that endeared him to the fans. And, he's had critical hits and key moments this season, always going 100%. And to see him go down in the manner that he went down, I almost wanted to ask him, what is your mental state like? How are you doing? Because it's almost like a mentality, like you can go into what's going to happen today. And this season, there's been more injuries than usual. And these injuries are crazy. They are on a scale from crazy to catastrophic. Mm-hmm. And, I just wonder, how do you handle that as a manager? I know you have 162 games to figure it out, unlike the other sports, but just, Willie, how does a man handle that in the position that he's in when, your team is pretty much falling apart and you're still above 500 in just 2.5 games out of the division of the AL Central? Could you say the AL Central is one of the worst divisions in baseball? But you're still 2.5 games out when your roster has been decimated. You have no starting pitching, and pitching is by committee. Like I was asking Nat, how's your fastball? Because you know what? If you can get it in the 50 mile per hour range, they might be able to use you. You might be able to throw some sinkers and cutters, and stuff like that. But how's your pitching? Because at this point, I'm waiting on the call myself. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, going back to Naylor for just a second, it's very fortunate that it was a closed fracture and not an open fracture. I could tell that it was a dislocation by the way his foot was just hanging, like, just like this. So for all you guys out there watching, you can see it. So that's the fortunate thing about it, is that it was a closed fracture. Now, in terms of Tito, I would like to ask a question, in his long and illustrious career, and with all due respect, Tito, have you ever seen anything like this before in a club that you are as close to or at the top of? And I can't say for sure that he has, because I don't have that type of memory. But that would be a question that I would ask him, and then I will follow up with that by saying, yo, how in the world are you doing? How are you dealing with this? Because I know this has got to have a mental stress a part of you, because not only one is it your guys, but these kids are very, very young, and they're hungry, and they're playing so hard, and they're out there giving you everything that they got. There's got to be a bit of an emotional tie to that, I'm sure, not just from a player manager standpoint, but just from, a man to these kids that he is old enough to be their dad, and maybe even some of their grandfather.
Yeah.
So those are questions, Natalie. I mean, not Natalie. I'm thinking about Natalie because she's always there. But Rachel, you can possibly ask for him and then let me know what he says.
If I don't get cussed out, for sure I will. But those are great questions. But mental health being such an important thing, he's expected to still win despite these injuries. I think that if he wasn't winning, people would be like, okay, I understand, and that's an easy scapegoat. But dude is still wheeling out here, getting wins. So like that's one of the things that say what you want to about him, but that's just a testament to the type of manager he is, and him being able to manage through this situation. Because I don't know, how many managers could actually do that successfully. And you don't have that type of mentality or attitude whenever you have won championships. You don't have that type of that does not resonate within your DNA when you have dominated a division the way that the Indians had up until a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty sure that he's not looking for any sympathy. And even if he was, he wouldn't even let that on, because that's just the type of a manager with championship pedigree. That's what they do. Yeah. And George, thanks, George. Yeah, he said we look great on the 50-inch screen. Appreciate George. I'm ready for my close-up. Just kidding. And George Gilbert says they got a hard road to manage, and that's absolutely true, because we talked about that after they finished this series with Detroit, and they had a great bounce-back win yesterday. It was an amazing win. I think they got 17 hits, which is, I think, tied a record or surpassed a record. So I don't know if this was in response to Josh Naylor, and we're going to go out and win one for Josh, but they had a great win yesterday. So that was really good. Why did I start talking about that? Because this is well, I don't know why you started talking about it, but what you said led me to think this. Okay. Who we got up next? Go ahead. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Who we got up next? Because coming up next after this Detroit series, we are going to have Houston Astros in town. Then we're going to go on the road against Tampa Bay, and then we come back, and I think we welcome the Oakland Athletics. Or are we there? We can look and see, but I want the Indians to win all of those series except for the last one that you said. Whatever, man. Yeah, but it's gonna be tough, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, and what I was also gonna say was yesterday in that game, I remember tweeting at ShakeBack Media Group, and I said, "Yo, somebody need to tell the at Indians to slow down and save some for tomorrow."
I know. Because tomorrow think about they've been no hit twice this season. So I'm like, you can see that well easily dry up. And that's my concern. Like, okay, yeah, y'all got 17 hits today, but y'all might have a 0 tomorrow. So, and then we ended one person's, I forgot what his name was, his 6-game hitting streak, the black guy that plays for, oh gosh, what was the name? But yeah, he was on the 6-game hitting streak, which we ended. So I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm all about in the streaks.
But you know how that is, though. Those streaks are just that. They're streaks for a reason. And
we are at the Athletics.
Yes. Oh, so you guys get to come to the town. All right.
At the Athletics, and then after that, we go on the road against the Astros, and then have Tampa Bay here. So it's almost like the schedule's in reverse.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least y'all possibly get to enjoy some beautiful weather.
We got beautiful weather here. Ain't nobody got to go anywhere right now. We gotta take a little break right quick. You're listening to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill and Willie Epting, and we're gonna be right back. WOVU 95.9 FM.
Celebrating Black Music Month here at WOVU 95.9 FM. Jay-Z, aka Sean Carter, is a hip-hop artist and a businessman. He is Rockefeller Records and previously served as president of Def Jam Records. Born in 1969 in Brooklyn, New York, Jay-Z got into hip-hop to avoid the drugs and gun violence in the Marcy Projects, guided by his mentor Jaz-O, who produced much of his early work. In 1996, Jay-Z sold over 420,000 copies of his debut album, Reasonable Doubt, within its first week, featuring Can't Knock the Hustle and Brooklyn's Finest with the Notorious B.I.G. Jay-Z released a new album each year through 2003, all 8 reaching certified platinum, gold, and silver before he briefly retired after the Black Album. While away, he and his mother, Gloria, focused on the community and established the Sean Carter Foundation, which helps individuals facing socioeconomic hardships, including scholarships and career exposure programs. Jay-Z returned in 2006 with more #1 albums in the coming years: Kingdom Come, American Gangster, Blueprint 3, and many more. He has won 23 Grammy Awards and has sold a record 14 #1 albums since his debut in 1996, 11 of which are solo. Jay-Z has truly built an empire, a net worth of $1.4 billion through his career in hip-hop and other business ventures, including 40/40 Club and Rockaware. In 2021, Jay-Z became the first living solo rapper inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on his first year of eligibility. This celebration of Black Music Month is brought to you by WOVU 95.9 FM. Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
Hey, this is Crazy T. You're listening to 95.9 FM WOVU Cleveland, Burton Bell Carr community radio.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle
with Rachel Hill, the first lady.
All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady Sports, and I'm here with Willie Epting of ShakeBack Sports Network, my co-host on Tuesdays with me. He's in the huddle. And Willie, just coming back from commercial break, so very briefly we talked about the schedule kind of being in reverse. So as soon as we get back from the All-Star break, we are on the road against we host the Athletics here. So I'm gonna try to attend those games in spirit for you. And no, we're at the Athletics. Okay, I'm tripping.
Nah,
okay.
I don't want your spirit with me because your spirit is gonna be wanting us to lose.
Okay, no, I'm completely tripping. So, okay, we're at the Athletics. Okay, so I will not be attending those games. And we are at the Athletics. We're at the Astros. And then we host Tampa Bay. So, yeah, right before we go to All-Star break, we have Tampa Bay, then Kansas City, All-Star break, athletics. And then when do they come here? Because I know they got to come here.
Yeah. Is it
Okay.
does it
They
say-
are here July 10th through the 12th. So I'm going to do my best to attend those games in spirit of you. In spirit of you. There's a game I ain't gonna be able to do at 1:30 though, so it's a 1:10 game, so I ain't gonna be able to do that. But like I said, I'm gonna try to be there in spirit of you. So
that will probably be the third game of the set because that's what we usually do. We'll be going for the
yeah, I don't like that though.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not into that.
Yeah, we'll be going for the sweep.
So some other baseball news. Mike Trout is on the 60-day IL. So that's a long IL. And one of the cool stories that took place over the weekend was there was a Batgirl for the Yankees. So when she was 10 years old, she wrote to the New York Yankees and said she wanted to be a Batgirl. So pretty much the reply was, we recognize that women, can do things, but we don't think that this is a good fit for you. So have a nice life. And not too long ago, her family member had wrote to Brian. Well, the letter got to Brian Cashman about how she had tried to be a Batgirl. And Brian Cashman was like, hey, let's do it. So there's a week that the New York Yankees has inclusion week, not exclusion, but inclusion week, where they try to do feel good things for the community. And this was one of them. So her name was Gwen Goldman, and she got a chance to be the team's Batgirl last night. Got a chance to meet some of the players, take pictures with the umpires and all that other stuff. So yeah, Roy Hamey was the general manager at that time. And he said, in a game dominated by men, a young lady such as yourself would feel out of place in a dugout. And that was until her daughter found out about the snub, and then it made its way to Cashman. So in 1961 she wrote that letter, and 60 years later her dream was able to come true. So I think that's great. I almost want to write to the Indians myself and tell them when I was 12 years old I contacted them. I had to go look up the phone number in the yellow pages and call down there and asked to be a ball girl, and I was told you had to be 18 to be a ball girl. So that kind of ended my ball girl desire, because I was playing my own sports at the time and could barely make it to the game. So yeah, so I'm like, maybe I should say something to the Indians and let them know I called when I was 12 and told that I had to be 18. So
why not make them tell you no? Make them tell you no twice, and then 3 times.
I might put up a stink about it and do a video about it this time, but I'm like, yeah. I don't really think they knew, I mean, I was just a 12-year-old girl calling. So, you know, but I'm like, that would have been a lot of my parents to be getting me down to that old, ugly stadium and all. But you know what? They had built a new one by then. So, yeah, thank God we built that new stadium.
Oh, so did the Browns and the Indians used to share the stadium like all the other old? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they did.
Up until 2019, that Oakland, the A's and the Raiders were the only 2 franchises that still shared a stadium.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. But anyway.
It was whack.
That's why.
But it's always funny, though, to see them, because, the Browns will play against the Raiders. And it was just always funny to see the baseball diamond.
Yeah, the dirt.
And I'm like, it costs so much money to live here. I know y'all got money to build another stadium. Stop being so bootleg and just build a stadium.
I got my thoughts about that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, what y'all gonna do out there? Y'all got the new basketball facility for the Warriors, right?
Yeah, but it's in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah, you be trying to hit me to.
Nah, I have to let everybody know that there is a total different vibe between those 2 cities. I keep trying to tell you that, Rachel, you're not listening.
I know. I do listen, though.
Even though they're only separated by that 8-mile bridge, okay?
They're right across the street from each other. What are you talking about?
See, there you go again. 8-mile bridge that separates Oakland, Alameda County, and San Francisco County. And it is a totally different feel. I'm telling you. You ask anybody that lives out there, on the East Bay and on the West Bay, they will tell you the same thing.
East Bay is a catalog too. Is that where it's based out of?
Huh?
You know, the East Bay catalog that come out with sports stuff?
No, that's not what that's for.
No, is that based out of East Bay?
Yeah,
or?
I don't know where they are, but I don't. I remember East Bay from when I was in high school.
Yeah, exactly. No, they still around.
Yeah, okay. Didn't know that.
Still around. I gotta look that up. See where they come from. I can find out the answer to that. So so that's it for baseball. Unless you got anything.
No, other than that whole thing about the young lady in New York. I mean, I thought that was a class act by the Yankees. And I think that's the total testament for a person whose dream came true because they kept dreaming and not because they stopped working hard. So there you go.
Yeah, and you know, it's just a feel good story. But I'm like, I probably would have throw that letter away. I would have got mad, like, whatever, and went and kept it.
But you like to hold grudges though, so
I know I do. Yeah, I do. We'll talk about that when we talk about your claim too. Yeah, I'm working on that though. We are all works in progress, and I'm working on that. You know, sometimes when you're a nice person and bad things happen to you, or people do things to you maliciously for no reason, you internalize it. So that's something I'm working on.
Keep working.
Yeah, it might take a while to, get to where it needs to be, but that's okay. So NBA.
Oh, hold on.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
But you said it might take a while.
Yeah, it's been taking like X amount of years.
No, but why does it have to take that long though? You have the power to create or uncreate whatever. So if you're saying it's going to take a while, you could just turn around and say, you know what, I'm going to be done with this in a week.
I don't know how to do that.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. I'm working on learning how to do that though.
Okay. Next up on the agenda is what?
Not Rachel's counseling, which we can spend a lot doing that. But this is a sports show. We only got an hour. So next up on the agenda is going to be NBA playoffs. What are your thoughts so far about these conference finals?
Wait a minute. Did you say playoffs?
Yeah. Basketball playoffs, NBA playoffs.
Playoffs? You kidding? Playoffs? I just hope we don't win a game.
Practice? Talking about practice? That was always be a classic line, man.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Where we at? We are at the Clippers. They survived
three games to 2.
Yeah, so they survived behind 41 points from playoff P. He was playoff P in game 3 or in game 5 rather, or 4 or whatever. No, game 5. So he was playoff P in game 5 after being pandemic P in game 2 when he missed those 2 free throws. Look, it's going to take that Herculean effort and more, because I can tell you right now, Kawhi Leonard's not coming back.
Okay.
He's not coming back. Look at his history and what in particular what happened in San Antonio.
First, let's distinguish. Do you mean not coming back for the series, or not coming back to the Clippers, or both? Oh,
no. He's coming. He's done for the year.
I know.
Yeah, he's done for the year. So that whole Clippers thing, I mean, he's only in his second year of this contract, so he'll be back. Both of those guys will be back next year because they set it up to where both of their contracts would end at the same time. So to me, if they don't do it next year in LA, they're going to both be out of LA. Talk to me.
I'm listening to you because you're a Lakers fan, right?
But we're talking about the Clippers, though.
I know, but this is the thing that still be getting me. Are you rooting for the Clippers?
Am I rooting for the Clippers?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be rooting for the Clippers if the Lakers were still alive.
Well, I don't understand y'all. I talked about this on my show yesterday. I don't understand y'all how y'all not rooting for LA. Like how you got, if you're a LA like Lakers fan, why are you not rooting for the other team in LA? I don't understand that. To me, it's like your fandom should transfer to the next LA team, and y'all not. And I just think it's the weirdest thing of like all time. That's like Cleveland having 2, football teams, and the Browns are out, and me not rooting for the other Cleveland football team. I do not understand that concept.
Okay, well, let me hip you to something then. Not that this will probably ever happen in our lifetime, but we'll see. So say, for instance, the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals both make the NFL playoffs, okay? And Cleveland draws the way they're doing it now, there's only one team that's going to get the number one seed. So say Cleveland gets the number one seed, right? And they move on to the divisional round and play, let's just say, I don't know, Kansas City. But Cincinnati is also, so Cincinnati is also in the second round. But your Browns fall short to Kansas City and the Bengals move on. Are you rooting for the Bengals?
Yeah, absolutely do. I've done that before. Like I like when the Browns have been terrible, which has been every year, and Cincinnati is in the playoffs. I root for Cincinnati because they are the last representative of this great state of Ohio. So that's how my fandom transfers. And it could be possible that Cincinnati and the Browns, because you had 3 teams in the AFC North, make the playoffs. So it could be possible, a couple good things happen for Cincinnati. Everybody anticipates Cleveland making the playoffs. But Cincinnati could, because you had 3 teams from the AFC North make the playoffs. So it could possibly happen. They could possibly play each other. And, obviously, Cleveland over everything. So COE, Cleveland over everything. And then after that, whatever is left in Ohio is Ohio extended.
Okay, so I got another question then, because I like questions.
Yes.
Number one, actually, is maybe 2 questions, maybe even 3. But anyway, so what I surmise from that, Rachel, is that the Bengals are not the Browns' biggest rival.
No.
Okay. So now, since that's the case, well, no, because it's in the same state. So but they are our division rival. So there is called the Battle of Ohio when they play. And same thing with Cincinnati, the Reds, and Cleveland is the Battle of Ohio. So it's a big thing, but not really. Right.
In theory.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
You're supposed to say the state of rest. Same. And on that, we got to take another break right quick. So we are going to be right back. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU at 95.9 FM, and we will be right back.
Calling all CMSD family. Here is a special announcement. Register now for Session 2 of the CMSD Summer Learning Experience. Students of all ages can finish last year's work, get a head start on next school year, or engage in fun activities. The free 4-week session starts July 12th. Go to clevelandmetroschools.org/summer learning or call 216-838-3675.
This message is brought to you by the Cleveland Metropolitan School District and WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station. Are you or someone you know in need of help? Here's a resource you can turn to.
The Thea Bowman Center has been serving the community for over 50 years, provides services to help support Mount Pleasant and surrounding communities of all ages. Some of these programs include adult education, like GED, computer classes, food pantry, senior outreach, youth after school, and summer programs, and much more. Are you a Cleveland resident in need of a GED preparation, a food pantry, youth or senior programs? Then call the Thea Bowman Center at 216-491-0669 or visit TheaBowmanCenter.org. Call the Thea Bowman Center at 216-491-0669 or visit TheaBowmanCenter.org to register today.
This message is brought to you by the Thea Bowman Center and WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle on the OVU and 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I'm here with my host, Willie Epting of the ShakeBack Sports Network. So we are in the house, and we were just talking about the Battle of Ohio and how my fandom extends to another Ohio team after my primary team, my Cleveland teams, don't make it. And the weird concept that for LA residents or LA Lakers fans, they don't root for the other LA team after the original LA team is out of it. I still will never understand that concept, but that's okay. Moving on. So this series between the Clippers and the Suns, who do you think is going to win?
Well, I have to stay with the Suns. I mean, because I think that's who I was going with from the jump. What you whispering about? And let me tell you something about this series, though. I am a fan of Chris Paul because he is a 6'1" guard that can jump out the building with a nice mid-range game, can hit it from deep, has handles out the wazoo. And I always admire and respect and really love the smaller point guards because I was a smaller point guard. So, and he's been in the league now for what? This is his 17th year?
16th year, I believe. Yeah,
so he is the only person that has, well, there's only like 3 other people really that have made this deep or that has been a multiple time all-star and at this age and has never gone to the finals. I think Karl Malone is somebody that's on that list who I could care less for as well. But anyway,
I thought Karl Malone did go to the finals. I thought when he played with the Lakers and they lost to Detroit, he was on that squad.
He actually went to 3 finals, but has never won an NBA championship.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was going to say, and with the Jazz, him and John Stockton couldn't get it done against Jordan, but nobody could get it done against Jordan. So, man, you mentioned something. Yeah. And also, if you look at, Chris Paul's career, every team he's been with, he's always made them better. You think about, you could say that he jump-started the Clippers franchise, Lob City, and that could have been one of the catalysts for, who it is today. You look at the Pelicans, him playing with them. Who else has he played with? Houston, making them a contending team. And if not for him getting injured in that series against the Warriors, they might have been able to get past the Warriors and actually matched up with the Cavs in the finals, but that didn't happen. He was with OKC as well, too, right?
Yeah,
just for a little bit.
He was in Oklahoma City for a year.
Okay.
His glory years to me were in Charlotte, and then of course in LA. And when the league blocked the trade that would have sent him to the Lakers, he would have been with Kobe Bryant, Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, and all those guys. But at that point in time, that's when the league actually owned the Pels, and they weren't going to let that happen because it was going to shift the balance of power to one team. Although we've seen that somewhat here lately.
Anyway,
but the big 3 in Brooklyn did not get it done. The big 3 in Miami got it done half the time, and this big 2 in Clipperland now, they're facing elimination one more again. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. But who do you? So you have Phoenix coming out.
Yes.
Do you think Phoenix is vastly overrated?
Excuse me. Not from what I've seen. They have it all. They have inside presence with Ayton. He can finish at the rim. He's actually got a little bit of a jump hook. Chris Paul, excuse me, went down the wrong pipe. Chris Paul is one of the ultimate leaders that this game has ever seen. Booker is he's Devin Booker part 1. I heard Stephen A. Smith said that he is the next coming of Kobe Bryant. No, he is Devin Booker part 1. And they have good wing play and they got a great bench with Payne and all those other guys too. So I don't think they're overrated whatsoever. If anything, it's people like you that's disrespecting them.
I'm just, some of the word on the street is that they are not as good as advertised. And what happens if the Clippers do come back and do beat this team? Because you think about, I look at this Phoenix team as a very young team minus Chris Paul. So you have you have some wily veterans, but Kawhi ain't coming back. But Paul George sitting up here playing for his playoff life because he can pretty much taste making it to the finals.
You knocking pictures off the wall behind you.
I know. Don't be telling people that.
I want to make sure you're all right.
Thank you. Yeah, it's true though. But yeah, so what if the Clippers do come back and make it to the finals?
You know what?
Phoenix lose when they had every opportunity to win and put this team away last night.
And you know what will be said? It will be said, oh, the Suns, they weren't supposed to be here. And They were probably a couple years away, and they surprised everybody. And Monty Williams did a great job, and this team is young. So it's going to be like, yo, they're playing with house money and all those other things. So if the Suns don't make it to the finals, it won't be a failure of a season for them. But if the Clippers don't make it to the finals, oh yeah, they flunked. They flunked.
I don't subscribe to Phoenix wasn't supposed to be there because they're there. You know, how's a team not supposed to be there? But I guess if it was my team that was there, I'd look at it differently. But I look at Phoenix as a excellent team, and you know that they remind me of the Phoenix Suns of the early 2000s with Steve Nash, where you know this team does play defense, but we all know that the Phoenix Suns of the 2000s was, I just want the ball back. I ain't playing defense. I'm put 175 points on you, and we're gonna go home. So I look at that Phoenix team as a little different, and they realize that they actually have to play defense. So right. I'm excited to see how the rest of this series could go. I wasn't rooting for Phoenix because they were last state to recognize Martin Luther King Day. I don't know where I'm at right now.
Well, I can certainly understand that, and there's a difference between rooting for a team that's left in the playoffs or rooting for a team that is that team. So if the Suns if the Clippers maintain, because it seems like there's a black cat running around that franchise, like is about the Cowboys, and there's a black cat running around the Cowboys franchise. It seems to be the same thing with the Clippers, because you got to understand how last year they underwhelmingly performed. This year Kawhi gets hurt. But then this is the question I wanted to ask you though. Oh, we got to take a break? Okay.
No, we got 4 minutes, but I got a question for you after you ask me a question.
You gonna answer my question with a question?
Yeah.
Right.
No, I'm not.
So if okay, you said the Suns aren't supposed to be here. I said the Suns are supposed to be here. No, they're not. They're not supposed to. Nobody.
So you giving them the early excuse that they peaked and they wasn't supposed to be here in case they lose?
No, what I'm doing is I'm answering your other question, because out of the West, who did everybody have coming out of the West? It was going to be either the Lakers, the Clippers, maybe even the Nuggets. That was one of the 3 teams. And I actually had the Mavs and the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. So you have 4 of those teams right there that people have been saying could come out of the West. The Mavs, yes, the Mavs. Okay.
They lost first round, and I think people didn't realize how trash the Lakers squad was outside of LeBron and AD.
Well, they got hurt, like everybody else. They got hurt, and they're old.
Yeah, but the supporting cast wasn't hurt.
Yeah,
they suck.
They were absolutely terrible. But I guess what I'm saying is that for a team who nobody actually predicted to get to this position, it would be justifiable in saying, "Yo, they're not supposed to be here."
Nah, they're supposed to be there. Alex Caruso getting popped for weed. Dennis Schroeder talking about he hold out because he sucked. Yeah. The Lakers are a mess, and they got a lot of retooling to do. First of all, I don't understand how you gonna say it's a black cat around the Cowboys when they have multiple Super Bowl titles. What are you talking about? There's a black cat around the Cleveland Browns organization for them never making it to a Super Bowl. So let's talk about black cats where black cats really exist, where John Elway was our black cat. Y'all got titles, so don't use that black cat excuse, please.
Well, number one, it ain't y'all, because I can't stand the Cowboys. So
but you still are a benefactor because you live in the area. So you benefit from winning a title as well.
They haven't won a title since I was in college.
But that's okay. Y'all won one. Key word, y'all won. Cleveland has not won. We've not been in a Super Bowl.
Okay, please stop associating me with the Cowboys as y'all.
You are associated.
We are going to stop being friends if you keep associating me with the Cowboys. I'm telling you right now.
Your association is by proximity where you live at. So you got to get in on some of that good blessings. Even though you didn't root for them, people were nicer when y'all won a title. People let you go by in traffic when y'all won a title.
Oh my gosh.
Life is different when you win a title. Life is good for about a week because we experienced that here. The Cleveland Cavaliers, everybody was nice to each other. Everybody let people pull in front of them. Everybody was nice in stores and all that other stuff. We won a title. So even though, root for that team, you still benefited by the proximity of people being in good mood. That's how that worked.
Whatever.
First lady said that.
Okay.
You're still a benefactor.
You're right. Because you're right. There people are nicer. There is a little
bit thank you.
But there is a little bit of a more positive feel in the city. But I actually don't like that. I like it when the city is quiet. I love it. Oh, on Mondays? On Mondays?
Who are you right now?
When the Cowboys lose on Mondays?
You are tripping.
No, listen to me. Talk radio in Dallas, Fort Worth.
Oh, yeah, when teams suck. Oh, my God, so much to talk about.
It's doom and gloom, and I love that because it's not the Cowboys that I hate. Their fans. Their fans make me sick.
Why? Why do people get mad because people root for their team?
Every year after the Cowboys lose the final game of the year, just like Stephen A. Smith said, he said it, and I said it, and I say it to people around here, and I say it on my show that airs in this area or is based in this area. The Cowboys can lose the last game of the year, be 6-10, and on Monday, people talking about we going to the Super Bowl.
That's just absent from all reality. That's completely that I can't account for that and attest to that. But
I did a show, man, with this guy out of Brooklyn, and we did it. We called it Cowboy Hate. Is it the team or is it the fans? And we both agreed that it was the fans. It's not the team.
Well, ain't no black cat around the organization, your fandom notwithstanding. So I'm putting that out there. We're going to go ahead and take this final break right quick. You are listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
We are celebrating Black Music Month here at WOVU 95.9 FM. DMX, aka Earl Simmons, was a rapper well known for his gruff voice and rawness that he put into every verse. He was the only rapper to have his first 5 studio albums debut at number 1, and the first living hip-hop artist with 2 projects to go platinum in 1 year. Born in 1970 in Mount Vernon, New York, he battled addiction and a violent upbringing. He went in and out of school and prison and befriended dogs on the streets in Yonkers. By age 14, DMX started as a beatboxer, wrote his own songs, and competed in rap battles. After releasing several demos in the early 90s, he signed with Rough House Records, a branch of Columbia Records, where he described his painful experiences growing up in his songs. Faith was important to DMX, as he often prayed and spoke of God's power and love in his verses. He also signed with Def Jam Records, and under both labels, he sold over 15 million copies of his first 5 albums between 1998 and 2003, each certified platinum and gold or silver. DMX won awards for the Top R&B Album Artist of the Year and American Music Award for Favorite Rap Hip-Hop Artist. He even appeared in movies with Jet Li in Romeo Must Die and Cradle to the Grave, as well as Steven Seagal in Exit Wounds. DMX will be remembered for pouring his faith in his work, even after his death at age 50 on April 9, 2021. This celebration of Black Music Month is brought to you by WOVU 95.9 FM. Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
Yo, Cleveland! I got COVID, and you already know this, but I will tell you again, you do not want it. It's whack. It's terrible.
Well, I got vaccinated and called me Lizzo because we feeling good.
Get educated, get vaccinated.
Listen, it's free. It's super easy. Click the link in the bio to get more information. Also, when you get vaccinated, you get a free card. Can't beat that.
This is brought to you by Jesus and Mero and WOVU 95.9 FM. Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle, WOVU and 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports. Remember, you can always listen to us live at WOVU.org. You can always call us 216-271-0959, and you can always listen to us on the WOVU app. So make sure you download that so you can listen to us on the go. And also, we do broadcast live via StreamYard app on Facebook. So you can look at us talking right now, me and Willie, excuse me, I said Willie. You got me so flummoxing right now because I'm trying to understand who you are and trying to understand this black cat scenario still where y'all, Dallas people are just fine. There's no black cat. They got titles. So I don't want to hear none of that noise. So moving on to the Eastern Conference, who you got between the Milwaukee Bucks and Atlanta Falcons?
Atlanta Hawks?
Yes. What did I say?
You said the Falcons.
Oh my God. You know what I meant.
Oh my God.
Atlanta Hawks.
I got the well, it depends on what sport they're playing. If they're playing football, I'm gonna take the Falcons. If they're playing basketball, I'm gonna take the Bucks. Okay.
I wouldn't take the Falcons in football.
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, they got more players, so they'll eventually wear them down. Okay, so this game 3 in Atlanta, where Trae Young tweaked his ankle when he stepped on the ref's foot. It's looming large, not because of the game that they lost, but because of his effectiveness and his availability moving forward. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Middleton are a two-man band. I don't know what was wrong with Drew Holiday on in game 3, but he did have double-digit assists, but I think he only had like 7 points. But in terms of what the Hawks need or what I think the Bucks really just kind of showed them who they are. And when I say they showed them who they are, they showed the Hawks who the Hawks are in the fact that they are the 5th seed in this particular tournament. Giannis Antetokounmpo is one of the top 5 players on the planet. And this team is it's like what rapper was it? I think it was Richie Rich, the homie from Oakland. He said you can't ball into balling. You got to pay your dues first. And the Bucks have definitely paid their dues first, and the Hawks haven't paid their dues quite yet at all. So
yeah,
that's where I am with that.
Yeah, the Bucks had some early exits, including last year. So, yeah, but also the Hawks have been able to surprise teams. Nobody expected the Hawks to be where they're at. And I'm not going to use that they're not supposed to be here. They are where they're supposed to be at because they had to kind of go through the Eastern Conference gauntlet to kind of get there. So, hats off to them for doing that. I still think that they might be able to push this to at least 6 games. Each team has stolen a game on the other's home court, and that's always a huge and big thing. And I think it was a huge win for Milwaukee to get that win the other night, a statement win and on the road. So we'll see what happens tonight. I think Atlanta might actually win this game tonight. So then I want to see it go back. The back and forth. I want to see that take place. I definitely think that the Phoenix and Clippers series could go 7. I'm thinking that this series between the Bucks and the Hawks could go 6, but I'd like it to be 7 games too. I don't have no horse in the race at this point, so I just want good games in gamesmanship and stuff like that. But you are going with the Milwaukee Bucks.
We want to be entertained.
Are you not entertained?
Huh?
Are you not entertained?
I am entertained, but that's what I'm saying.
Remember that movie? Are you not entertained?
Yeah. But at this point, I'm really glad that Brooklyn didn't make it.
Yeah, I know, me too.
And I'm really glad that if there was a team in the West that I don't want to make it more than any other team in the West that could make it, it would be the Clippers. I do not want the Clippers. I do not, but it's not, but for me, Rachel, it's not just because of them being in LA. I don't like the way that Kawhi Leonard handled that situation. Go get Kawhi Leonard or go get Paul George or else. I mean, oh my God, that's another story.
They didn't have to do it though. They did it. They didn't have to do it. They could have been like, no.
But they did.
Don't blame Kawhi on that.
I don't blame Kawhi. I blame the Clippers organization.
Well, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they did it.
Yeah, it was check time, and they They folded.
But I can respect that, though, because that's the reason why the Green Bay Packers are in the position that the Green Bay Packers are in.
What position are they in? Is Aaron Rodgers did not show up to minicamp, did he?
No, and he ain't gonna show up for the season either.
So who will be? Oh well, they got a quarterback.
Yeah,
I'm like, Aaron Rodgers just need to stop and just go or retire.
Well, he's not gonna retire because he's still got a good 3 years left in him.
It didn't look like that against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well,
he should have ran for that touchdown. If he ran for that touchdown, they win that game.
Okay, so
he had daylight.
Dave or Coach Matt LaFleur didn't have a play in that when he decided to go for the field goal.
Aaron Rodgers could have called an audible at any time.
No, he can't call an audible if he's on the bench.
Well,
and they got the field goal team on the field.
Well, he should have told the coach I can do it.
No,
you see this in the movies all the time.
The movies,
yeah,
the movies,
yeah, all the time.
This is not.
You can make it a reality. That's on Aaron Rodgers.
This is not the replacements.
That's on Aaron Rodgers. He should have spoke up. Closed mouths don't get fed. So I don't know what to tell you. So we got 5 minutes left in the show. We're going to talk a little bit of, well, we have the Derek Rosenthal LSU to enter the transfer portal. Is that why you got on your LSU gear today?
No.
Because of Derek Rosenthal?
No, I put on the hoodie because my wife turned the air down. That I was in the room shaking. I had to warm up.
What's the temperature there right now?
I don't know. I mean, outside it's probably like 80. It's been cooler the last couple of days. Probably like 85, 86.
You said cooler?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's like temperatures we dream of. It's warm right now, though.
Oh my goodness, I'm in Texas.
It's 70. It's supposedly it's 73 right now, but it's raining.
Oh yeah. See, we've been getting rain too. Okay, let's get back to Rosenthal because we could tell a weather report all day.
All right, Derek Rosenthal, thoughts about him entering the transfer portal. He's had some issues at LSU. I know I didn't put this in here when I said we were going to talk about him. Any potential landing spots you think for him? He stay within the SEC, or as long as he don't go to Alabama, I'm good.
Yeah, that would be kind of a crime if he went to Alabama, but. I honestly don't know that much about this player, but I will speak on the transfer portal itself and how it has really become the free agency of college football.
Yeah.
If you think about it, it is really the free agency of college football with the difference them being not being paid salaries, and then they have to reach a certain level. So I guess I'm assuming that he's a senior or he was going to be a senior or
he's going to be a senior.
He's going to be a senior. So
yeah.
At this point, it gives these players or puts these players in a position to where they can actually make the most of their opportunity of being a champion. That's what I like about it.
Who did he really work? Who's somebody that went into the transfer portal and worked out for them?
Say it again.
Who's somebody who went into the transfer portal and it worked out for them tremendously?
I would say the quarterback from Ohio State University.
Yes, that is correct. Ding, 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 ding.
I'm thinking about another quarterback from Ohio State University that ended up winning the national championship at a real school.
Oh, you got jokes now. You being funny right now.
Wait a minute. Didn't Joe Burrow go from Ohio State to LSU and won a national championship? And then Justin Fields went from an SEC team to Ohio State and did not win a national championship?
Alabama was just it was frightening how good they were. I never thought I'd see a Buckeye trouncing like that, but we did see one against the Florida Gators. So yes, there are some times we get trounced. You know what? I honestly think Clemson was our national title game this year. I think after beating Clemson, they kind of didn't care about Alabama. Maybe they thought that they could beat Alabama again since it happened, a few years ago. But I think after Clemson, we were just gassed, and that was, oh, you playing a violin sounds. Oh, okay. I see how it go. All right, Mozart. That's fine. Anyway, 2 minutes left. So Olympics.
Okay.
We're moving on. We ain't talking about Ohio State no more. Olympics.
Okay.
What was we going to talk about the Olympics?
Simone
You had
Biles.
the subject. I forgot. Simone. You know she has a goat emblem stitched into her leotards, right?
Yeah, and
it's real. I know. She's amazing. So she's on another Olympic team, and hopefully this team will win gold.
You got Simone Biles. That's like the Michael Jordan of gymnastics. That's like the Tom Brady of gymnastics. That's like the Mookie Betts of gymnastics.
Yeah. I'm super excited that everything that these athletes have worked hard for will go to fruition. How can they get at you really quickly? Couple seconds.
At ShakeBack Media Group on Twitter and Instagram. Also follow the YouTube channel. You can search ShakeBack Sports Media Group there, and you will find me there as well.
And this is Rachel Hill, First Lady of Sports, 1ST Lady of Sports on Instagram and Twitter. And thank you so much for listening to Her in the Huddle, WOVU and 95.9 FM. We thank you so much. Stay tuned. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a good night.
Peace.